cans because the guys in the boats are wide up. So they've got a spotter down here. They're about to say, hey, you got someone on your inside, someone on your outside, hold your line, hold your lane. Because the vision is restricted. These things are super fast, 120 mile an hour into a corner.
Yeah.
And they'll just slam these things in and pull 5Gs.
Rhys
That guy
Coles.
right there, Mr. Rhys Coles, boat number 14 this weekend. The blue machine that just went past us, he's going to be one to watch.
Championship leader currently.
Incredibly fast.
Ewan Bricker there, mate. Boat number 1, the TBR.
Yep, TBR leading in the series. There goes Matt Smith, boat number 65, Smith Family Racing. That boat, the yellow and blue machine, obviously we'll talk about the colours so you can identify him as he goes into the back straight. That whole Bisho is a babber, and you'll see it's a very, very different dynamic. It's got a real pointed nose. It looks like a predator. It looks like an eagle. I love the look of that boat. And it has a real different attitude. The boat sits up high in the water column and runs very, very flat. Really comes into its own in the rough.
Yeah, it's and in Europe, a lot of the racing is very rough stuff. It's they don't back off. They don't call races off just 'cause it's a bit bumpy over there. And they obviously a very quick boat. Beautifully turned out, isn't it, Murph?
It certainly is. They've done a great job, the Smith Family Racing. So Matt Smith, Joel Smith. I need to check my list to see if both Joel got the boat in here, this one. But Matty Smith. The oldest man in the sport currently, about 652 years of age, but one hell of a competitor. Bought that boat in from Europe just last year, actually, and only this is really his first full season in development in the boat as well. But and a couple of new faces here this weekend. We'll talk about in a minute. But the guy coming around turn number 3 right now, the Stars and Stripes. This is Ewan Bricker.
Yep.
He is an excitement machine. He's a young guy from Langwarrin in Victoria. About 23 years of age. That boat is a DAC, made in Europe, and it's in the original factory DAC colours. The boat owned by Gavin Bricker in TBR. That kid's either winning races or he's upside down. There's no doubt about it. There is no... He's really developed as a driver over the last few years, and he's carrying the number 1, Dave, and that's the one that everybody wants. So he's the guy to beat right now, this bloke, as he comes into the top turn. And just watch his lines for a minute. We can see him on the live stream right there. He is hyper aggressive, this kid, and as I said, really has come of age.
Yeah, boat looks fantastic, doesn't? Ewan's a hard charger. I've been watching him go around for quite a few years now, and you know his father Gavin was always a hard charger in any form of racing that he ever did as well. And obviously Ewan's just inherited the family trait there. He's a 3rd generation boat racer. Of course, his grandfather. Was a massive offshore powerboat racer mostly, but a lot of water ski racing as well. And Rhys Coles, actually, I mentioned water ski racing as Rhys Coles goes past. He had a bet with Vaughan Brewer that I'd mentioned water ski racing within about half an hour of the start of the segment.
Right.
I didn't, Vaughan did, so I reckon he owes Rhys the money.
Well, there you go. Maybe it's a different time zone for the West Australian.
It might be.
Hey, Paul Whitten's back
Whitten.
out there. There you go, the gravy machine, that gunmetal grey. It's that little Mulgard, so it's a beautiful boat. And running the 2.5 litre on the back of that, based by the numbers board. So good to see Paul Whitten out there and getting it circulated. A little bit untidy on the back chute there. So he's hopefully they've got all the electrics sorted, because these boats, we talk about the way that they fly and float, Dave. As we watch, let's watch Rhys Coles as he comes down this front straight. So he's got the nose in the air, putting the air underneath the boat. But to make the boat turn, he's going to have to settle it. So he hits the trim button right now. Bang. You see the spray changes, gets the sponson on the water, makes the turn, and then straight away starts to lift the boat back up to get that maximum boat speed. If you don't have trim, you cannot drive one of these boats. It's plain and simple.
Yeah, that's right, Murph. It's you see, as you said, see the spray change, and you'll see what as we just watch. It's a Mach 1 boat going up through the top turn there, but you see the boats dropping. You see the spray almost peeling off the nose of the boat as they're going through the corner. As when you watch them coming down the straight, the LFR machine running right on the rear of its sponsors, like Rhys Coles here as well.
As we pick up Ewan Bricker now as he exits turn 3 at the bridge end, same thing, the boat running, you can see right on the verge, Bisho, a little bit of left and right. This is fast water here at Yarrawonga for these boats. It's one of the fastest tracks they race on. There's quite a bit of buoyancy in the water here, so a lot of suspended clay and quite a bit of salt. So there's quite a bit of buoyancy, and these boats love a bit of buoyancy, but what they really love is that chop. So that little chop on the water breaks the surface tension, the sponsons are dancing, it looks wild, it looks loose, and it is, but it's certainly fast.
I tell you what, Murph, the conditions have absolutely come to the course today. Yesterday, it was rough. It was there was some white caps out there early in the morning, and it dropped off as the day went on. But I tell you what, today, it's just. I don't know. The gods have smiled on us, mate. It's about as good as Yarrawonga's ever going to be. You have these concrete walls here.
Yeah, it's a tough track.
They make it tough. You know, we've spoken about it lots over the years, but the waves come through off the boat, the wash comes off the boat, hits a wall, bounces back out onto the course. But these boats are a little bit different to maybe a displacement boat. They'll tend to, over that small chop, just dance over the top of it, won't they? It doesn't bother them too much. It's the really big holes that bothers these boats.
It certainly does. Yeah, boat number 34 just gone past the commentary box there. The white machine with the black and fluoro yellow highlights. That is Chilax, Andrew Chilver. Previously run under the Middies Electrical banner. Now, this guy is one to watch. He unfortunately hasn't been involved in the whole series, Bisho. He broke a bit of gear, but he is back. I don't have to tell you about Andrew Chilver. Yep. He's had a lot of success in this sport. And, mate, this guy is super fast on a racetrack. And as a racer, wow, he's ruthless. Yeah, no, he is. He's he came through the sport. Actually, he was a water ski racer to start with, but then he moved into racing monohulls, 1750 Bullet, a very, very quick one indeed. Now he's moved into this tunnel boat arrangement, and he's just taken to it like a duck to water, hasn't he? He has. You see, he's on a hot lap right now, so he's come out wide to straight line it. We'll try and stand this clock start on the way through, but Chilver now looking for his qualifying position. Remember, he wants pole one. He wants to get a nice, clean inside run. You don't want to be 5 or 6 or 7 boats deep in that first race. This is a race of attrition, Bisho. Your qualifying sets your race number 1 pole. The result of that sets your race number 2 pole, and that then sets your final. So we're going to see all 14 boats on the water at one. Right now we've got half the field out there, mate. This is going to be exciting. Yeah, no, it's. I'm very, very keen, mate, and just watching Chilvers go through now. Yeah. On that hot lap, he did a good job. He managed to avoid all the traffic on that lap, so you'd have to think that might have been a pretty good lap time for him. And I like the way you can see as we watch Paul Whitten now, the grey machine exiting turn number 3. Everyone trying different lines. So we saw before, you're either going to sit tight on the pins and slam the boat down and shorten the course, as we see Rhys come out wide at the far end, or you're going to drift the boat around and just leave the boat hanging in the air to try and keep your mid-corner speed. But when you get into turn number 1, you've got no choice, Dave. You've got to slam this thing down hard and get around the corner as we watch the 2 go in to the top turn right now. Let's watch Smithy on the inside. Bang. In its own length, that boat from full noise. Yep. Don't lift the throttle, trim down, turn the wheel, and just trim it back up, and away you go. It takes a lot of courage. Absolutely, mate. Your head smacks the side of the cockpit in these boats when you go into the corners, and your eyeballs nearly pop out of your head. So, interesting. Smitty's actually made Rhys Coles has backed out of this lap. Yeah. So, Smithy's pushing on, though. This is a hot lap for him, I think, mate. Yeah, no, he's looking quite good as well. He's promised a lot in this boat. He's had some great success, but as I said, this is really his first season, and that's a quality lap out of boat number 65, the yellow and blue machine of Smith Family Racing. 777 Racing, LFR. Now, these guys have just jumped back into the series, so I'm talking about Greg Lambert from up further north. We watch him exiting turn number 1, so some great shots there from our camera crew. And in the back straight, really starting to get a handle on this boat. As the Aussie Championship Series, Dave, when you step into this series, we saw it with Nick Coles from New Zealand, you're playing with the big kids. There's no quarter given, and a really talented driver can be made to look very, very average very, very quickly by these guys, but not this guy. He's really come on strong. Yeah, it's, as we say, the boats turned out beautifully. And the 777. Yeah, very nice lap from him, so it's going to put him right up there in the quality position. Paul Whitten's getting a bit loose in the back chute up there as well, but there's one other guy I want to mention, and he's coming out of the exit now. This is a white boat with the bright red sponson tips, taking a little inside line. So this is a brand new competitor. Right, this is Mitch. Come down from the Upper Hawkesbury Powerboat Club. First ever race in the series is Mitchell Williams, I think. Yeah, Mitch Williams in Problem Child. So just watched him on that last lap through. You would not know it. He's doing a beautiful job of circulating, and he wants to be here because he's up against the best in the business. Mate, Mitch sent me a message last night. He's a ski racing fella, so I know him pretty well. He also is the podcast 100 Mile an Hour Club we were talking about a little bit earlier on.
But Mitch had an engine failure yesterday.
Oh, really?
And they've been up. They had it back together by 10 o'clock last night and running. So
wow.
They're running this engine in at the moment. So Mitch is welcome to the series, mate. It's hard work.
You come over and break some gear. And that's the thing, because you can go and circulate at the club level or your state level, and you're winning everything, Dave.
Yeah.
You're fast, you're winning everything. You're 10 foot tall or bulletproof. You come here and you get relegated to point 10, 11, 12, 13. And a really good story, we'll see him out in this next grouping, is Nick Coles from Lucas Oils and the work that team have done.
Yep.
These guys were getting lapped and lapped and lapped when they first came over here. And they've come out of a hot streak in New Zealand. And to their credit, this guy's now winning races. They have just turned the wick up on this thing. Unbelievable. So checkered flag flying high, Bisho, in that quali for our group number 1. So 10 minutes for qualifying, mate. And I tell you what, Rhys Coles, he came in early, so he's done his best time out there. He was quick. Chilva was fast as well. Ewan Bricker, he's going to be right up there as well. And so I reckon maybe Matt Smith.
Yeah, Matty Smith, he's popped up the hatch down the back straight, so he's obviously done. And, that's qualifying for the first group. I think second qualifying will head out now, Murph, I assume. Yeah,
they will. So there should be a quick turnaround. I can see Stephen Gilligan down there. So he'll be looking after maybe Andrew Chilver, actually, in his crew out there. His son, Tyler Gilligan, out on the water in the F4. There's about 600 Gilligans racing in this championship series. But give a round of applause as they come past on the bank. Obviously, they can't hear you, but they can certainly see your hands moving as well. So it's a pretty anxious start to this series for qualifying for the Australian Formula GP Powerboat Championships. We'll call them through. The white machine with the black and the yellow is Andrew Chili Chilver. There's Matt Smith in the yellow and blue, the Baba of Smith Family Racing. 777 Motorsport is Mr. Greg Lambert. And there is boat number 1, Ewan Brecker, the Mercury 2.5 howler. Bolted to the back of that machine, mate.
He's got his work cut out for him with Colesy sitting on top of the table here. He needs to obviously win here today, I would assume, to try and get the championship.
He does now, unfortunately, because he was involved in an incident the last round. So looking really strong, doing a really good job. But he came to grief with Nick Coles, actually. So in the starting sequence, we talked about that dock start in the final and was not able to finish, so no points at all. And this is ruthless. So without that, Ewan will be right up there. And I said, things happen in this sport. It's a pretty exciting form of motorsport.